Well, hello everybody. This is a close-up. Um, I'm here in the annex with Gadget and her kittens. And I know I did another clickbaity headline, but actually I do plan on talking about basically catching people up on things that they may have missed if they're not on the Discord or not particularly active on the Facebook fan page. Excuse me. I know some of you just like to watch the stream, and then you sometimes end up wondering what's going on. And this weekend was an especially busy weekend with a lot of things going on, more stuff than we even planned on. So I thought I owed you a little bit of a catch up, a little bit of a what's happening. So here we are. First off, Gadget has been moving her kittens out of the box, which is why they are now in the ring. Uh, I wanted to keep them confined so they don't just. She keeps grabbing my hand, so I'll pet her more. I wanted to keep them confined so they don't just run all over the room, but are in sort of a confined space. And this way, we've got a heating pad that's under like this end of the circle so they can get on it and be warm, but they also have a place they can go if they're too warm. So that's why they're in the circle. And she already has pulled some of them out of the circle as well. But every time she picks her kittens up, she always puts them kind of in this area. So I moved the circle this morning to right here, and maybe she'll stick with that a while. We'll see. But I take the fact that she's moving her kittens as actually a good sign because, she's had a bit of an upper respiratory infection and she seems very recovered. I don't know if she's 100%, but you may have listened to her kind of snorting and wheezing for a while she was in the box. And happy to say she's all over that now. She's been eating better and she's been taking care of her kids a little better too. I think she was having some trouble smelling things for a while, and now that she can smell again, she's taking care of their poops a little better. So I think that's all just wonderful. Oh, Kayla, you know what? This is off the topic, but Kayla Joyce, I'm glad that you asked. You said, "What happened to Cuddles? I've been out of the loop." That is another thing I should catch people up on if you're out of the loop. And it's also something that I should talk about because there's some news there as well. So, a lot of news. So, let me interrupt myself for just a minute because it's easy to go back to these kittens. But for Cuddles, we sent Cuddles. I guess we gave Cuddles to another foster that also does fostering of cats and kittens for DAWS, the Danbury Animal Welfare Society. That's who we get our foster mom cats from right now. And they have a foster that handles a lot more difficult cats, like Cuddles seem to be, or not difficult, but just one that's going to take a lot more time, I suppose, than what I was able to do. And she had it sort of reformed a whole number of feral cats, which Cuddles is not feral, but she's got that experience of dealing with extra spicy cats. And yes, as Jamestown just posted in the chat, that foster has been posting update videos with Cuddles in them on her own YouTube page that she's just begun. And there's a link to it right there in the chat. It is A Soft Paws is the username, just the letter A, Soft Paws. If you look for that, you'll probably also find it. Her name's Debbie, and that name is also on her YouTube. So if you look for that and you find Debbie, that's the right place. And the really exciting stuff about Cuddles there's two things. Number one is that she's made so much progress with Debbie that she now has joined with the entire group of cats there at Debbie's place. And from what I hear, she's getting along great with everybody. So that's something that I always suspected that she would be capable of doing. And I'm so glad to see that it's worked out that Cuddles has now cat friends and is being great at socializing. Yes, Jamestown, yes. Yeah, we had KACon this weekend, and the part of the fundraiser is for DAWS. Um, she's made that actually as a joke. It was a joke, but she made it part of the fundraiser where we were so close to hitting an enormous dollar amount on the fundraiser. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. And we were just getting real close. And so she said, if we hit the number, then she would release Cuddles from her private room and into the general population. It was the Free Cuddles campaign. And who doesn't like a free cuddle? So Yeah, that was really fun of her to do that, and it really worked out because the community is so generous. But the other thing that I wanted to say about Cuddles, and I'm so glad that I got the reminder, is that Dawes has officially opened applications for Cuddles as well. Now, she's not quite ready to go home. She gets her spay, I think it's next week on the 1st, and probably will have to stay at least another week or two after that to make sure she's all healed up and good. And I don't know if the foster needs to keep her longer for more sort of personality or not. I think she's doing fine. So, at any rate, though, even though you won't be able to pick her up tomorrow, you can apply for her. And in this case, I think you want to go to the Danbury Animal Welfare Society webpage to apply for her, not to our application. Although, if an application does come in through us, it will also get to Dawes, and I'm sure they'll deal with that. So, I would recommend that if you are the kind of person that thinks Cuddles was the right cat for you, then you can apply either place really. But I would suggest going to the Dawes page or calling them or going to visit. Their new their building remodel is done and looking very good. So Cuddles is doing great and wonderful, and her foster is a fun person who really helped raise money this weekend for Dawes. And I don't mind saying the amount because of everybody's generosity and that last minute push. We actually went way over the amount that was being pushed for. I think at the time we were trying to hit $6,000 or $7,000 and blew right past it. And in fact, ended up so close to 10,000 that at the last minute, a very generous anonymous donor came in and said, I want to make it up. Whatever we're missing from 10,000, I'll just pay the rest of it, and we're going to make it an even $10,000 this year, which is a huge record for KA which always does a big fundraiser, and it's wonderful and fantastic. But this year it's really extra. So that's fantastic. And full disclosure, of course, half of that goes to Dawes and half of it is donated to the Kitten Academy. So of that, we're each getting 5,000. But I think that is spectacular. And just everybody was so generous. It was wonderful. And the other thing that you may have seen, of course, is over the weekend, because of the KA Con going on, we had almost 100 people visit the Academy from KA Con on two separate days, on Friday and on Sunday, which is another thing I wanted to discuss with you. But I also want you to see these kittens. So while we're talking about it, I want you to see them really up close for a second. I know they're all peaceful and sleeping, but I think I can still show them to you and we can get a look at their faces. And I'll take a minute to talk about their health. So this one is Cog. I just happened to pick up Cog first. He's a little orange boy, as you can see, and he was the first one to get his eyes open, even though he's the smallest kitten of the entire group. Little tiny Cog. And one thing you might notice is that all their bellies are gigantic, and that's because they've all got quite a bit of gas, which we are working on solving with probiotics right now by the recommendation of the vet. So if you notice that they're looking very pear-shaped, that's why. Very farty in here. But now it doesn't seem to be doing them any harm, so that's good news. Now, you may also know that on top of the KA Con happening this weekend, which was a huge deal, and I do want to talk more about, DJ and I also made two trips to the emergency vet, which is highly unusual for me. In fact, the ironic, I guess I jinxed it because after or during the first trip, I mentioned at some point that we had never had to bring the same kitten to the emergency vet twice, or the same class, even. And then we ended up basically doing just that. So everything worked out, by the way. I want you to know, I mean, you're looking at all four kittens. Everybody's fine. So let me say that before we get into talking about what happened. But it was Sprocket here. Well, okay, I'm going out of order now. This would be nice if I could go in narrative order, but Sprocket's at the bottom of the pile. This is Axel, a boy, the other boy. And you can see he's got a lot of white. His eyes, I don't even know if they're starting to open yet. He's a little bit behind on that. I know you see some shadow there, but I don't really see much eye yet. So, but that's him. That's little Axel, and he was one of the two kittens that went to the emergency vet. But the when he went yesterday, it was immediately at the end of the KA Con visit. Like, in fact, DJ probably wanted me to apologize on her behalf. She felt like she might have been a little bit snippy, or maybe short with the people that were leaving, that were saying goodbye to her. And that's because she was freaking out about little Axel here at the time and didn't want to say anything to anybody because she didn't want them to panic or anything. But I think she really had that on her mind. And then afterwards, she told me that she felt like maybe some people thought that she just wanted them to get out, which is not the case at all. She wanted me to say that she was sorry if she came across that way. But let me start in the narrative order, which is I think it was Friday night that was it Friday night? No, it must have been Saturday night that little Sprocket here. This is the girl Sprocket. You can tell she's a girl because she's a calico, and it's exceedingly rare for there to be a calico male. Not impossible, but very, very rare. And so, yeah, Jay Donaldson, I just assumed she was hide. Well, she would hide too, so that's good if that's what you assumed. Anyway, Sprocket here is she was had some bad diarrhea, and I was concerned. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. No, we brought them to the emergency vet once last week for the diarrhea, and then we had to bring them back again for the weekend, where she was having some weird issues that we thought were breathing issues. It really looked on the stream like she was gasping for air, and it was very disturbing in a way that I don't think I've ever seen any kitten do before. And so we brought her back to the emergency room. That's the right way to tell the story. And that was the second time. So now I'm getting it right. Anyway, we brought her in because it seemed like she was having trouble breathing, and they had a good long look at her. And the real bottom line is that they didn't find anything that was a real problem. But I do think it was nice for her to have been in the nice environment with the oxygen and all the extra care. In fact, I know it was for two reasons. I know it was good for her, regardless of anything else. One reason is that she had good poops when she came back. Um, oh, Ninja Chris, how do you cure cat gas? Well, I don't know the full answer, but I do know that while she was at the vet, one thing they did was extract some of the gas directly, um, in a manner that I wouldn't have been able to do here. But they do it the same way that they can do with humans, which is basically just put a tube in there and suck it out. So they did get quite a lot of gas out of her. Actually, the amount was I was amazed that she could even hold that much. Um, so all in all, it's very good that she went there, and they wanted to keep her overnight for observation, and they did all the tests and the X-rays and the blood work, and we checked her out very thoroughly, and they really fixed her up well. I think the other reason that I know she's fixed up well is not just the good poop, but well, let me tell a little bit more of the story before I get to it, which is the before we right about the time we were going to pick Sprocket up 24 hours later, they kept her for 24 hours, for keeping an eye on her and taking care of her and making sure that she was in good shape, and making sure that gasping resolved, which the doctor told us in the end she didn't think was respiratory related at all. I think the best theory that we had was that she was so full of gas that she was sort of making weird mouth motions, and I don't know, maybe it just had a sort of a carry-on effect, but it wasn't, from what I was told, it wasn't really part of her breathing at all, which is good and a relief to hear. But at any rate, she's not doing it now, and she seems to be just fine. Then at the very end of the day yesterday, as I was saying, DJ was hanging out in here with Axel and taking care of all the kittens for a little bit. And she was starting to get just really concerned. She thought that he was breathing slow. And we took his temperature. This is something I just learned because as a result of this. So I learned something new. We took his temperature and it was 97. And I said, okay, that's low. That's really low. We need to go in because I've always known that cat temperatures are a little closer to 101 or 102. So 97 is like, all right, something's not right. Um, but I found out as a result of bringing him in at that temperature that 97 is actually a perfectly normal temperature for a kitten in their first week or two before they've really got everything going. They do tend to be a little bit closer to 97, and the vet thought that was a perfectly normal thing for him. So that I learned. We don't usually end up taking the temperature of kittens in the first week or two. And in this case, oh, oh boy. What a terrible time to lose audio. Test, test. Did I accidentally put my hand over the mic? Where is the mic? Okay, I must have accidentally put my hand over it. I don't even know where it's picking it up from, so I don't know where now to put my hand. I'll hold it better. Okay, if you could or couldn't hear it, what I was saying is that we brought him in for a temperature of 97. In addition to DJ thought his breathing was a little bit off. We brought him in right last night, and his temperature was 97. I know 97 seemed like a scary temperature, so I'm more used to cats being 101, 102 is the normal temperature for a cat. So I was like, all right, 97, let's bring him in, just make sure he's good. And turns out, as what I was saying, is that 97 turns out to be the normal temperature for a kitten in their first week or two. So the vet was like, no, that's the normal temperature for a kitten this age. He's nothing to worry about on that front. So that's something I just learned. As I was saying, we never end up taking temperatures of kittens when they're this young. We very rarely have reason to. And even if we did have reason to, by that point, we'd probably be taking them to the vet anyway. So, not something I've got a lot of experience with, and just now have learned that 97 is, well, the temperature for these guys. So we brought him in yesterday, and he got a thorough examination, and he got to sit in the little incubator with the oxygen with his sister. They were reunited at the vet. I was singing the song "Reunited" from like the '70s, which you may or may not know. It doesn't matter, but um, I'm not going to do it for you now. Oh no. So everybody at the vet, by the way, thought that was adorable because as soon as they put them together there at the vet, they snuggled right up with each other and they were being super snuggly and cuddly. And even the receptionist was commenting on how adorable it was. So he basically, though, got fully checked out as well. And the bottom line for him was basically like he doesn't have anything major going on that's a problem. Um, but strangely enough, even though he was only there for a couple of hours and like one feeding, I think, the when I brought them both home, they both had like one real good poop. I don't think I've gotten any poop out of them yet since. That was just last night, and I think mom's taking care of it a little more, so I can't say if it's still good. But I actually was so impressed with it. I called them up when we got home, and after I'd pooped them, and it was a good poop. I'm like, What are you? Were you feeding them? Like, I need to know so that we can feed them the same thing because it was great. It's whatever it is, it's working great for them. By the way, while I'm talking, this is the remaining kitten. I think we saw three of them, but we didn't yet see. Um, let's see, it's Cog, Axel, Sprocket, and um, Cog, Axel, Sprocket. Oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? One of you guys tell me, what's his name? Her name, Crank, right. It's Crank. I had to say her, and then I remembered it was Crank. So this is the girl, Crank, we originally thought was a boy, but it is in fact a girl. Her eyes are starting to open, and you can see she's still the biggest and just a big old fuzzy teddy bear. So that's Crank. Anyway, I called them up and I said, "What? I need to know exactly what you're feeding. Like what brand? What is it? The powder? Is it pre-mixed liquid? Is it the goat formula? Is it is it KMR? Is it Breeder's Edge? Like what were you feeding them? And did you put anything else in it?" And they said that what they're feeding them is the 11-ounce KMR in the can, pre-mixed, nothing special about it, nothing added. And I said, that is exactly what we have been feeding them. So I don't know what they did right, but boy, did they do it. So yeah, so that was one reason that I know that taking them in was good for them. The other reason, and this is really strange to me, especially for little Axel, who was only there again for a few hours, like I said. Today, every time I've picked them up or handled them, both Axel and Sprocket have purred for me. How crazy is that? Little kittens do know how to purr, but they mostly just purr for their mom. It's very rare for them to purr for me at any point until they get much older. But they both were purring for me when they've been handled. So that's pretty spectacular, if you ask me. All right. So there you go. I see Costata, who is also a vet, is saying that 97 is a little low because 99 is a little bit more normal. So I don't take vet advice from me. If I say something, please don't ever assume that I should get be like a source of great information. You can see I get it wrong. I just did, but they did say sort of keep an eye on his temperature and make sure it stays good, but that it wasn't the panic situation that we thought it was. So that's good. Um, okay. I think that about covers it for these guys. If you're coming in late, basically, we took these two to the emergency room over the weekend in separate incidents because we thought they were maybe having some difficulty breathing for both of them. And it turns out that they really weren't either one of them in that dire of straits. But it's much, much better safe than sorry. And I do think that being in there for a while helped them both out quite a bit. So that all worked out very well. And the vet certainly didn't say, "Oh, you shouldn't have bothered to bring him in." I think that they checked out a lot of things and that there actually were some things resolved. I mean, she was definitely had something going on, even if we still don't know really why she was making those weird mouth motions. Whatever they did resolved it, and that wasn't normal behavior. So I think it was important. We did the right thing. So there you go. That is enough about these kids. We talked about Cuddles. I'd like to go downstairs and show you how all the other kids are doing. And I feel like there was more specific stuff I wanted to say about KACon, but mostly just generic stuff about how wonderful it was and how wonderful everyone was. Not just the donations, which were epic this year and came up, when we were talking about Cuddles. But everything this year, the presentations, the videos, the people doing skits. Dragon Maker was there and read a couple excerpts from a book. I need to ask her what book it was because I really enjoyed them, about a cat and the way that it was written. Obviously, she is so great at telling stories and at reading and presenting. I enjoyed that aspect of it, but I also just liked the story because you could tell it was written by somebody who had really spent a lot of time around cats and wrote them as characters, but also really with a sort of an accurate portrayal of their behavior that I liked quite a bit. So I found that entertaining. Okay, this is Sky or Skylight, our mom cat for some of the kittens that we're about to take a look at. And she loved having all the visitors this weekend. She spent the whole day when people were here just wandering around, being a little social butterfly, making sure that she got to see everybody in every room several times. I hope you're just happy and excited and shaking your tail. I'm not marking. You are just happy and excited. Did you see that tail shake from him just now? Did that get on camera? Little Marshmallow. This is Marshmallow. He, Marshmallow, the boy, is one of Cuddles kittens, and he's a very friendly, social boy. They're all going in for their spays and neuters, by the way, in the next 2 weeks. Some of them are going a week from today, I believe, next Monday, and then some of them are going the week following that. So they are going to start getting picked up by their adopters shortly. Hi, do you want something from me? What is it that you want? I can't tell. You're not being clear. So I opened the door, and now they're all just going to come out here. I was going to go in the room with them, but that's not working out yet. That's Pajamas back there, the gray kitten, who I'm happy to say I saw even her participating in. Oh man, that wasn't quite on camera. She just did the thing where she kind of pets herself while she's standing on her feet to tell me that that's what she wants. Let's see if we can get her to do it again. Probably not. Do you want something from me? What do you want? What is it? Oh, go on close. Why are we all crowded in this corner, kiddos? So this is Pajamas here, and her brother, this is Cashmere. Those are also two of Cuddles kittens, and looking very good together. Pajamas is probably one of the more shy of the entire bunch, whereas Cashmere is probably one of the more outgoing, so they would make a very confusing pair to adopt together. A lot of fun, because your friends would never know which one was which, even though if you know what to look for, they're not that hard to tell apart. Then we have Joyce here is our super floofer. She's not looking so floofy right now, but if you look at her ears, you can tell she's going to refloof. She's just going through an awkward teenage phase right now. She's really, really cute though, and she was a little social butterfly. Everybody got a chance to hug her and pet her and pick her up and ooh and ah, so that's cute. She's already got her adopter, who, by the way, was one of the attendees at KACon, so got to come and meet her ahead of schedule, which is nice. Also, Sky's adopter, for that matter, was also here and got to hang out with Sky. And I'm sure it's so hard to leave them here after hanging out with them for a little bit, but they're not quite ready to go home yet, so they'll be coming back. Now, this is Alcove, who is also one of Sky's kittens and spent the almost all, no, I shouldn't say almost, well, she spent a large amount of time sitting right here on top of this pillar and just napping, just actually sleeping through the entire crowd right there in her spot. That has been her spot. You may have already seen her there yourself, where she spends so much time hanging out right there. Alcove has a real, I don't want to say sloth personality, but she definitely runs at a different speed than the others, where you almost always catch her sleeping, taking it easy. Hi, come back, Al. She's like, I don't trust you now if you want me. Okay, all right. And when I call everybody to dinner too, she's almost always just lazy, taking her time. She'll always be the last one to show up. This is Hot Chocolate, who is the last one of Cuddles kittens that we didn't see yet. Oh, okay. A little hard to tell the two of them apart if you don't know what to look for. Again, that's Hot Chocolate and Alcove. But they are also both running away from me right now, so at least you got a chance to see them. This is Teaspoon, of course. He was also very popular. When people first started showing up on Friday, he was extremely spooked by all the people around. But by the end of the day on Friday, he was just loving all the attention. And I don't think it hurt that a bunch of the people that came to visit were, every time he would go to his chicken closet and sit in front of the chicken closet door, they would open the door and let him in, and then let him out, in and out. And several times he was basically getting all the service that he could possibly have. He had a whole room full of servants, and he loved it. So he ended up having a very good time, even though he started out quite shy. Sky, be nice now. I don't think she's gonna go after him, but you could see he was a little nervous about it. Who haven't we seen? We didn't really get a good look at Gabe. I know he was on the camera for a second, but I didn't say anything about him. This is Gabe. Now, Gabe, of course, he is probably the most social of the group, either him or Joyce. They're the two that definitely hang around people the most often. And he was very true to that, as had all the visitors over the weekend. He couldn't stop playing for a second. The whole time he was just going wherever somebody had a wand. Or I also know we served pizza to everybody, and he was a fiend. He's a food fiend all the time, and he made no exception for the visitors. And definitely tried to steal anything he could get from their pizzas. I heard that one point he even took a tomato from somebody, which is ridiculous. But he doesn't make a distinction when he's got food. It's food. He's just going to grab it and run. So I heard he did a lot of that at the party as well. But real fun for everybody. He got to do a lot of play, and they all had so much fun. I've been saying that everybody. Oh gosh, it looks like Teaspoon just left a little present here. I got to clean that up. Note to self: if you saw it, you saw it. But if you didn't, please don't rewind. So I've been saying to everybody that when people first started coming in big numbers on Friday, all the kittens were just a little freaked out because they just don't see that many people ever. I don't see that many people ever. And they all were, I think, visibly nervous about it. Kittens? Oh, Maggie probably just smacked a kitten or something. Oh, somebody's still growling though. Oh, it is. Oh, no. How did they get in here? Come with me. Wow, I guess I didn't get that door all the way closed. That's terrible. And we got little Alcove in here, but everybody else is settled. They must have run out of already. Okay, now you sit over here. I'm going to rescue little Al. Hi, kiddo. Okay, I know. You made a mistake coming in here, didn't you? Okay, I got you. Well, that was some excitement, huh? Glad we went up to check on that. Okay, now it's closed. Now we're set. That was supposed to keep the kittens back from that exact potential, but I didn't close that all the way either. So good for me. What was I in the middle saying? Oh, that on Friday everybody seemed very nervous. Oh, this will make up for that indignity, won't it? This is the leftover chicken from yesterday. That's Maggie's legal defense team because I immediately blame Maggie. All right, my problem. Anyway, Al, do you want to go get some of that free chicken? Look at you, you're still very nervous. Come with me. Come with me, Big Al. Aw, come here. He's like, I don't even know what I did wrong. You didn't do anything wrong, kiddo. Why don't you get in here and get some free chicken? Here, let me help. Right here. I'll bring you your own. There, that's my, I'm sorry, okay? That's sorry chicken. There you go. Not so bad, right? I think Marshmallow, somebody might have also run in there, but just got out a little quicker. Can you hear this? Oh, now they stop. Do it again, kids. Well, maybe you heard a little bit of it. Oh, stay back. Yeah, little tiny growlies. So I think that leaves Rafter now as the only one that we haven't really seen, right? Where is she? Al, I see you're still a little bit on edge, kiddo. It's okay. Um, Logan just finally came in. Oh, I've still got chicken on my fingers. I should clean that up real quick. Okay. We always take the chicken that the teaspoon has left over from the day prior and then let everybody have a little snack on it rather than just toss it out. So that's fun. Hi, Eddie. Eddie's here in the new bed. So I was saying that on Friday, when everybody showed up at first, they were all very nervous about it. But after just a few minutes, and especially after people started getting out the toys, they all came around and had a lot of fun playing. In fact, so much fun playing that they wore themselves completely out. When people left, they had a big nap. And then Friday night, when they started to wake up again, they were like, I couldn't keep up with them. They expected that same level of attention. They wanted all the people back to continue to play with all of them, and it was very demanding. Like this, you guys set some expectations that I could not live up to, and I think the kittens all really appreciated it. So I think they really, really enjoyed it in the end. Now, where is Little Rafter? I want to find her just to be sure that nobody else like snuck in here and is hiding or anything like that. I don't think so, but you know what? We better just take a real quick peek behind the beanbag chair because that's the place where they would go if they were gonna hide out. No, it's clear. Okay, there's nobody back there. Good. Okay, well, let's go figure out where she's at, and then we'll wrap this up. I want to say thanks, though, to everybody for just, first off, I thank you guys all for tuning in and listening to me ramble and talk about the kittens and having a little bit of excitement, which I apologize for. I did hear that door click shut this time, so I know we're good. Oh, here she is. She's still napping. She found a little sunny spot this morning. There we go. Hi, kiddo. So thank you for joining me this morning, and thanks for understanding. I mean, I feel very embarrassed about the fact that those kittens came through that door while we were doing a live stream, but these things do happen once in a while, and no harm in the end. So And then, of course, I want to say thanks not just to all the KACon attendees, which I much appreciated. The kittens much appreciated everybody coming by to see us here at the house, and I really did love it. I'm not a very social person by nature, and so I don't think I would want to do it very often. But for one weekend a year, it is fantastic. It felt great, and I really loved it. I loved having everybody over and having a chance to show them. The thing I worry about the most is always sort of people's time. Like when it comes to money, people have different values that they place on money because some people have more and some people have less, and that's it is what it is. That's I understand all of that perfectly well, but when it comes to time, you only get so much, and you can't trade for it, and you can't uh, you can't get more. You can't save it up. You can't. You just get so much of it, and that's what you get. So I'm always really concerned about whether I'm wasting people's time or whether they feel like their time was spent, with us in a valuable way. And I hope it was. I know for me it was wonderful. I really, really enjoyed it and appreciated it. So thank you all to those of you that managed to come, or those of you that participated on the Discord remotely. With that, I appreciate that as well. Um, and of course, I have to say thank you so much to everybody that helped plan it and put it together. I don't have anything to do with that ever. And the people who do an amazing job. This year, I wanted to say earlier, I got distracted talking about how the donations this year were fantastic for Dawes and for us, but mostly it's Dawes I would worry about. Um, the donations this year were fantastic, but that's not all. I think I was in the middle talking about Dragon Maker and how I enjoyed her story, but that's not all either. There was just everything this year was spectacular. It was so well done. Um, from the technical parts, the entertainment parts, the people that were there doing just all. I don't even know where to start. It was wonderful. So thank you thank you just to plain everybody. I just owe thanks to the whole world right now. And yeah, Jackson Galaxy showed up. Yeah, that was also extremely special to me. The I guess Jackson Galaxy appearance, if you wanted to call it that, but some fine person, anonymous person, got a Jackson Galaxy cameo, and I don't mean like cameo in the generic sense, but actually there's a service called Cameo where you can get celebrities to make little tiny videos for you. And somebody had gotten a Jackson Galaxy video because we've had this long running vendetta, which is a joke. I need to say that for people who don't know. It's just been a long running joke about Jackson Galaxy. But I even dressed up as him for Halloween one year. And whoever did that, it really made my year because I was surprised to find just the cameo that he sent us was so heartfelt and touching. I did not expect that. Well, I didn't expect it at all. So how could have I expect? I couldn't have expected anything. But if you told me, I would not have expected it to be that wonderful because it really he seems so personal and yeah, it was. I'm gonna get all teary thinking about the whole weekend because every part of it was special and wonderful. So that's it. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much to everybody that got the chance to participate in it. It was the every year is the most epic KA Con of all time, and this year was not an exception. So there you have it. Deb is asking if there's a place to watch the video. Because Dawes and Kitten Academy are in some sense businesses. I don't think we'll be able to share the video out with everybody because that would be too much like something that would need a commercial license, especially with how extremely kind he was to us. It would certainly sound like an endorsement, and I don't think that was something that is allowed. So, but if you are on our Discord, I'm sure somebody can share it with you there. It is available, and there are ways. So, There you go. Jamestown says if you're on the Discord, the links are still on the KACon channel, so you can just hop over there and you can watch it, and it's very special. You can, in fact, watch the entire KACon weekend if you missed it on our Discord. I don't know if it's posted yet or if it'll be posted later, but it will be for the people on our Discord, a video that you can go to and rewatch anytime. If you missed the trivia, or if you missed one of the shows, or the videos, or anything that happened this weekend, you can definitely watch it still. So you might want to if you haven't. It was very fun. Oh, that's right. Yes, and they put timestamps on the videos too, so you can skip right to something you want to see, including the Jackson Galaxy video. So that would be another way to see it. So there you go. Okay, I've gone on for too long. Thank you guys. We had a lot of catching up to do. I hope that caught us up. If I forgot anything, I'm sorry, but we'll catch up with you later on. I hope you have a wonderful week. And the big takeaway from today's video is, first off, the kittens all are relatively healthy, doing fine, and also thank you. That's the two things that are important. So that's it. I'll see you all later on.